All right, so we're going to do the rest of page 37 and go through page 41. Oh, no, we'll continue that into 42 because it kind of trails over. Anyway, here we go. R. 325.1709. Reinstatement of expired and revoked certificate. Rule 209.1. A registration certificate that has expired for failure of the registrant to apply and pay renewal fees may be reinstated by the director as follows. A. If within 2 years of the date of expiration of the certificate, upon receipt of renewal application, advice of the advisory board, and payment of renewal registration fees for each year during which registration had expired in accordance with the fee and penalty schedule set forth in the Act. B. If after 2 years of the date of expiration of the certificate, upon successful completion of the examination in accordance with provisions of R. 325.1701, R. 325.1701A, R. 325.1703, R. 325.1705A, and R. 325.1706. 2. A holder of a certificate of registration that has been revoked in accordance with the Act after a waiting period of not less than 1 year after the registration certificate was revoked may petition the director for a hearing for reinstatement of the registration certificate. The hearing shall be granted only upon a showing by the petitioner that reasonable grounds exist for the hearing. Reasonable grounds shall include correction of the conditions upon which the revocation was based, and assurance that such conditions will not recur. 3. The registration certificate shall be reinstated only upon the recommendation of the director in successful completion of the written examination specified in R. 325.1706. R. 325.1711. Public representations in advertising. Rule 211. 1. A person shall not cause any word or words to be used in any contract, business form, document, sign, display, or other advertising medium which indicate or imply that a person, firm, partnership, or corporation is engaging in the business of well drilling as defined in R. 325.1606, or in the installation of pumps and pumping equipment as defined in R. 325.1604, unless that person, firm, partnership, or corporation has obtained a certificate of registration from the department. 2. A person who is registered pursuant to the provisions of Section 12704 of the Act shall not use in any contract, business form, document, sign, display, or other advertising medium a name other than the name that is filed with the department or a registration number other than the registration number that is issued by the department. Part 3. Drilling machines and service vehicles. R. 325.1721. Well drilling machine registration. Rule 221. 1. A drilling machine registration card shall be issued for each drilling machine that is registered by a well drilling contractor. The card shall be carried on the drilling machine at all times, where it may be inspected at any reasonable hour upon a request by the department representative or a health officer. The card expires on April 30th each year. 2. The registration card and duplicate seals that are furnished for a drilling machine are not transferable. The card and seal shall be returned to the department when a drilling machine is sold, traded, or otherwise disposed of. A registration card and 2 new seals for a drilling machine that is sold, traded, or otherwise disposed of will be provided without cost upon receipt of the old card, the 2 old seals, and an application that requests authorization to operate a different drilling machine. 3. Registration of a well drilling machine by the department does not exempt a person from any applicable federal, state, or local vehicle registration requirements or from payment of applicable road taxes, license plate fees, or vehicle registration fees. R 325.1722. Identification on well drilling machines and service vehicles. Rule 222. A person who is registered pursuant to the Act shall place the registration number, including the county number for the business location and the business name and address in letters and numbers not less than 2 inches high, in a conspicuous location on both sides of each well drilling machine and service vehicle. Part 4. Dewatering wells. R 325.1741. Applicability of Part 4. Rule 241. 1. This part applies to construction, operation, and abandonment of dewatering wells and pump installation, except that the exemption in Section 2 of the Act is construed to mean a dewatering well where the inside casing diameter is not more than 2 inches and the total depth of the casing and well point is not more than 25 feet. 2. A shallow sump installed for the purpose of removing water that has collected in an underground excavation or water that may seep into a sump equipped with a low lift pump to remove the water which would enter or interfere with the excavation is not considered a dewatering well and is exempt from these rules if the sump is A. Constructed within the limits of excavation, B. Not more than 8 feet below the specified excavation elevation. R 325.1742. Location and general construction. Rule 242. 1. A dewatering well shall be located to accomplish the temporary dewatering process and shall be constructed and maintained to prevent surface water and other known sources of pollution from entering the well. 2. The location of all existing underground structures and utilities shall be determined before any construction to prevent damages or hazards. R 325.1743. Casings. Rule 243. 1. The wall thickness of the casing of a dewatering well shall be selected to withstand the forces expected to be exerted on the well casing during installation and removal. 2. The casing shall extend not less than 12 inches above the working grade. The top of a casing shall be capped or covered in a manner to prevent entry of extraneous objects and to serve as a safety measure as long as the casing remains in place. When flooding is imminent, precautions shall be taken to prevent the entry of flood water into the casing. However, the casing on a well point system may extend less than 12 inches above grade when a closed piping collection network is used under vacuum, and the closed piping is maintained to prevent surface waters from entering the well points. R 325.1744. Well screens and drilling water. Rule 244. 1. A dewatering well contractor shall select the well screen. However, material and construction of the screen shall be sufficiently strong and durable so that the screen may be readily removed intact from the dewatering well. 2. Water used for drilling purposes shall be obtained preferably from a municipal water system or a well. Water from any other source shall be clean and be chlorinated to a free chlorine residual at the point of discharge into the well. When drilling water is transported to the well site, clean sanitary containers shall be used. An exception may be made to the requirement of chlorinating water used for drilling a dewatering well for legitimate reasons relating to water source, use of the well, site location, aquifers being penetrated, or other justifiable reasons, and shall be obtained in writing from the department for each project. Water from a shallow surface pond, which is generally polluted, turbid, and contains algae or other microscopic plants and animals, shall not be used for drilling purposes. R325.1746 Filter material. Rule 246. Filtering materials shall be clean and free of deleterious materials and placed so as to eliminate debris and surface water from entering the well during placement. After placement, the ground surrounding the well casing shall be mounted to divert surface waters away from the well casing. R325.1748 Flowing artesian aquifers. Rule 248. A dewatering well in an aquifer under an artesian head requires special installation practices. A dewatering well contractor shall take necessary precautions if he encounters a flowing artesian aquifer that flows above working grade to prevent unreasonable waste of the water and to prevent damage of nearby properties or watercourses or both. Methods of construction and abandonment shall be determined in pre-construction conference with all concerned parties, including the consulting engineer, and shall be approved in writing by the department. R325.1751 Pump discharge and suction lines. Rule 251. 1. A discharge line of a dewatering well shall leave the well above working grade. A pump in a dewatering well shall be installed in a manner that will permit discharging water above the working grade. Approval in writing shall be obtained from the department for a below-ground discharge connection to a dewatering well casing. 2. A suction line or header pipe in well points of a dewatering system shall be maintained to prevent surface water from entering the aquifer. R325.1752 Electrical connections. Rule 252. Electrical connections to the pumping equipment shall be made in accordance with the applicable electrical codes and shall be made in a manner that protects the safety and welfare of workers and the public from possible electric shock. R325.1753 Gases in mineralized water. Rule 253. 1. If toxic or flammable gases are present, the health officer shall be notified immediately, and special construction features shall be used. The gas shall be vented not less than 8 feet above working grade to minimize the explosive hazard and remove gas from direct human contact. The well casing shall be sealed tight to assure that all gas is exhausted through the vent. R325.1764 and R325.1766 prescribe plugging procedures for dewatering well containing gas. 2. Where the Water Resources Commission, consulting engineer, municipality, or other governmental unit involved in the dewatering project determines that disposal of contaminated water or water with a high mineral content or dissolved or entrained gases creates a problem, the department may make additional requirements. R325.1755 Pump operation. Rule 255. Water pumped from a dewatering well shall be conveyed to a natural water course in a manner that does not cause damage to abutting property, create a hazard, or cause silting in the receiving stream. This water is not considered potable and shall not be used for drinking or domestic purposes. The pumping water level in a dewatering well shall be maintained at the minimum possible depth below the ground surface that will dewater the excavation. Duration of operation shall also be regulated by the contractor to minimize time of pumping to the period actually needed to dewater the excavation effectively. The contractor, consulting engineer, and the owner of the construction project for which the dewatering wells are being drilled shall give due consideration as to what effect lowering the groundwater table will exert on existing wells. R 325.1761, Abandonment and Plugging. Rule 261. Plugging of an abandoned dewatering well shall be accomplished by one of the procedures set forth in R 325.1762 and R 325.1763. R 325.1762, wells 40 feet or less below grade. Rule 262. A dewatering well used in conjunction with underground construction or building excavation when the dewatering well is not more than 40 feet below the working grade shall be plugged as provided in this rule, except dewatering wells covered by R 325.1763. At the time the filter material is added, the well shall be backfilled from a depth of not less than 7 feet below the working grade to the working grade with an inorganic parent soil material encountered with the upper 7 feet. A finer textured inorganic soil shall be used when substituted for the parent material. The plugging shall be completed after the casing and screen are removed from the dewatering well by adding and compacting additional inorganic parent material naturally occurring in the upper 7 feet or with finer textured soils in the excavation remaining at the site to slumping of the filter material. These soils shall be added in a manner to prevent future slumping and assure that the drill hole shall remain filled to the working grade. Where one or more dewatering wells are deeper than 40 feet in depth, plugging procedure prescribed in R 325.1763 shall be used on all wells penetrating the deeper aquifer. Exception to this plugging procedure may be requested and a written decision reached through a conference with the department. R 325.1763, Deep wells, tunnels, relief in municipal wells. Rule 263. 1. A dewatering well deeper than 40 feet below the working grade, a dewatering well used in conjunction with tunnel construction, or a well used as an artesian pressure relief well, and all dewatering wells located within 500 feet of a municipal well site shall be plugged during construction as prescribed in this rule. The annular space between the borehole and the casing shall be backfilled at the time the filter material is added, with a mixture of 4 pounds of bentonite to each cubic foot of fine textured inorganic soil, upward from a minimum depth of 10 feet below the working grade. The bentonite and fine textured inorganic soil shall be thoroughly mixed at the time of backfilling. 2. The following chart relates borehole diameter to volume and quantity of bentonite needed per foot of borehole. Then you have another pretty little chart. And then 3. The plug-in shall be completed after the casing and screen are removed from the dewatering well by backfilling the hole with a mixture of 4 pounds of bentonite to each cubic foot of fine textured inorganic soil for a distance of not less than 5 feet of the borehole. The bentonite and fine textured inorganic soil shall be thoroughly mixed at the time of backfilling. A minimum of 142 pounds of bentonite shall be used in backfilling a 36-inch diameter hole and a minimum of 62 pounds of bentonite in a 24-inch diameter hole. The plug-in shall be completed by adding and compacting additional inorganic parent material or fine textured soils. These soils shall be added in a manner to prevent future slumping and assure that the drill hole shall remain filled to the working grade. Approval in writing shall be obtained from the department prior to instituting any modifications in the plugging requirements of this rule.